What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, finally bringing you guys a very exciting new movie review. And that is for Scoob, the new Scooby-Doo animated movie from Warner Brothers Animation. And this movie stars the voice talents of Will Forte, Zac Efron, Amanda Seyfried, Jason Isaacs, Tracy Morgan, and Mark Wahlberg. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Scoob follows the origin story of how Shaggy and Scooby first met, and it really dives into their friendship mostly, and also their friendship with Daphne, Velma, and Fred. And then we get to meet other characters that pop up in there, like Blue Falcon, who's voiced by Mark Wahlberg. And then we get this villain named Dastardly, who is after different MacGuffins, like different skulls, and he basically wants to take over the world. And he needs one person to do it. Scoob was definitely a film that I was very interested in. I really liked the marketing, the trailers, as well as Scooby-Doo, the franchise. Growing up, I really was invested in the Scooby-Doo world, watching the animated show, as well as some of the live-action movies that James Gunn had a play in. Now, hearing that there's a new animated movie with Scooby-Doo and Shaggy back in the whole gang, but instead it's going to dive more into the origins of how Shaggy and Scooby first met. That sounded exciting to me. And is Scoob good, or is it a disappointment, or is it bad? It's definitely not bad. Scoob is a total blast for the whole family. I really enjoyed this movie. It was very funny. It was entertaining. It has all the stuff I love in family entertainment. It's just a blast from start to finish, and there's definitely some positives here. I would say the best parts about this movie are definitely our lead characters, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. They're so great together, no matter what. If you watch the cartoon growing up or any of the live-action movies, you need to get invested in Shaggy and Scooby. Frank Welker and Will Forte as the voices of Shaggy and Scooby. They couldn't have picked better voice actors to voice these characters, and they really drive the whole film, make it entertaining. But they just don't focus on the comedic aspects of Shaggy and Scooby. They really dive into the heart of this movie. There's some really key pieces of dialogue that they really focus on, and they deliver in what they were trying to do. You also got some really well-known actors in there, like Zac Efron voicing Fred, Gina Rodriguez voicing Velma, and Amanda Seyfried voicing Daphne. You know, the original Scooby-Doo gang, and they're great as well. They're really good side characters that help our lead characters in the action and situations. And it's just great to see, you know, the gang we grew up loving from those animated shows growing up into a new hybrid 2020 film. Blue Falcon was also a character growing up in the Scooby-Doo verse, and when I found out that it was voiced by Mark Wahlberg, that was such a big surprise, just hearing his voice as Blue Falcon. And Blue Falcon in this movie was super entertainment. He was by far like a comedic relief character. His father was the former Blue Falcon hero, and he is trying to resemble his father, but he fails. He's nothing like his father. He's a coward most of the time. He hides whenever there's big villain fights. I thought it was really funny, and I just thought Mark Wahlberg added a good comedic relief to the film. And now let's go to the villain in this movie, Dastardly, voiced by Jason Isaacs. You know, Malfoy's father in the Harry Potter series. He is that very stereotypical villain, but I do enjoy some of the jokes he threw into the film and some of the development with his character and some of the motivations for doing what he was doing. It's a total cliche to say this, but the animation in this movie looks really fantastic. For a Scooby-Doo animated movie, they're really going to progress the animation game coming up in these next few years, because a lot of the animation in this movie is definitely next level, and they bring back a lot of nostalgic sound effects and animation from Scooby-Doo, well incorporated into the film. It does talk a lot about friendship, like we've seen in many movies before. And so, like I said, some of the dialogue moments in the movie involving the friendship with Shaggy and Scooby are definitely gonna tug your heartstrings a little bit. Maybe you might want to grab a couple tissues. This isn't no Toy Story 3 or anything like that, but it does have some really memorable things about it if you're into friendship and these characters. A couple of the issues I had is that it was a very predictable movie from start to finish. You know how you usually watch a lot of movies in your day, you could predict how the movie's going to start in the middle act and how it's going to end. I pretty much predicted a lot of things, and one thing I didn't see coming, which was funny, but the whole movie, it was kind of a very predictable story. But that's not the worst critique in the world. Another issue I had is a specific storyline involving our main villain in here that really was just thrown in there just to give the villain some sort of memorable thing about him. And it's just kind of thrown in the garbage can. And I wish that wasn't really added, or if they did add it, maybe they could have dived into it more. Before I give you guys my final overall thoughts on Scoob, if this is your first time checking out my channel and you really enjoyed hearing my thoughts on Scoob, please hit that like button. It really helps with the algorithm. Consider clicking that subscribe button because I do new release movie reviews when they're coming out, as well as Blu-ray videos, ranking videos, and I also have a podcast called the Fallen for Film podcast with my co-host Colin Williams, where we dive into all the newest movie news, do top 5 lists, and do other fun games and stuff like that if you're interested. And the best part about this is I do this on a weekly basis. In the end, Scoob was such a blast. I really enjoyed the movie. It definitely promised him what it was delivered for. It was an origin story on Shaggy and Scooby's friendship, as well as just another Scooby-Doo adventure. It does have some really childish things to it, but the film surprisingly had a lot of mature things too for the whole family to get attached to. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Scoob an A-. There you have it, guys. That was my thoughts on Scoob. Did you guys see Scoob yet? And what were your thoughts on the film? Did you love it like me? Did you think it was okay? Or did you absolutely hate it? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. Thank you guys as always for watching this review. All my social media links are in the description below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye-bye!